Welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of Military Trailblazer Office Hours. Thanks so much for taking time out of your Wednesday evening to spend it here in the spirit of community, mentorship, and learning. I'm your host, Dave Nava. I'm a lead solution engineer at Salesforce and a military trailblazer. Each week, we invite a co-host or sometimes co-hosts to take part in the conversation so we can leverage their experience, their expertise, and their unique perspectives. The focus for tonight's session is best practices for transitioning to and upskilling within the Salesforce ecosystem with a focus on exam preparation. So if you're looking for tips on how to strengthen your network, maximize your personal brand, and or crush Salesforce exams, this is the session for you. And I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen as I introduce our co-host. I'd like to welcome and briefly introduce our co-host for tonight's session, Anna Szabo. Anna is an experienced Salesforce consultant and is an official Trailblazer mentor. For her leadership in the Salesforce ecosystem, she was nominated as a Salesforce MVP for 2023. Anna is an award-winning digital marketer with 2 decades of experience and holds certifications in inbound marketing, account-based marketing, sales enablement, sales management, and revenue operations. She earned her MBA at Georgia State University and also holds a doctorate degree in criminal justice from Russia. She's an award-winning author of the book Turn Your Dreams and Wants into Achievable SMART Goals, and is also an artist with a collection of 22 paintings. And if you know her, she's also a poet with a collection of over 300 poems. Above all, Anna is a teacher at heart. Her first career was as an elementary school teacher, where for 5 years, Anna nurtured children of various ages in Russia and fell in love with developing people. She's a 3-time Trailhead Ranger whose motivation and drive enabled her to earn an absolutely amazing 11 certifications in 7 months. She shows up every day as her authentic self, and I am honored and excited for her to be here. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you so much, David. I love you. You have been an amazing friend and mentor to me, and you have made my Trailblazer journey so welcoming and warm and human, really human, because you have been a genuine human to me. You encouraged and empowered me a lot. So I am very honored to be here today. I love the Trailblazer community. I am definitely a Trailblazer myself, not a guru, not a zealot, not a maven, not an expert of any kind. I am just a human on a journey, and what I've learned throughout my journey is what I am giving from the bottom of my heart, because I feel that my journey has been quite unique. Anything I shared here today is not a prescription for everybody. It is just my experience that I am revealing to you in hopes that it will encourage and empower you, Trailblazers. And it's not a very common experience, I think, what I've gone through. But when I say this is what you need to do, here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you take it and either leave it or apply some of it to you. People who applied all of it to themselves achieved incredible results, for which, of course, I do not take credit. I have a couple of them here today to testify about some of the tips I'm going to be giving you today and how they work for them. But anything I say, you do not have to apply to yourself if you don't want to. So I'm giving you a permission.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Anna. Do you want to take a moment and share your Salesforce story with the crowd?
Yes, absolutely. I have been on a front end, I would say, of digital transformation since 2003. When I say typically people drop their jaw on the floor because they think I'm 28, I'm actually 40 years old. So I was born in 1983, and I have been involved in digital transformation since 2003. By my first education, I am a school teacher. I spent 5 years in classroom, and if you start counting and doing math, you might be disappointed, because you would never imagine that I went to teach at 15 years old. When I graduated with high honors, I was accepted to college. I started teaching at 15 years old. At 19 years old, I was accepted to business school. In my 3rd year of business school, I also went to law school. So for several years, I went to law school and business school at the same time. And also I was working, and I was working all over Russia because for my high accomplishments, I was promoted to a year-long trip to travel all over Russia. And the business was telecom business. That's where I first got involved in digital transformation. And then when I graduated from law school and business school, I came here to America 15 years ago, and I never left. Here I am. So here I earned my master's degree in business administration from Georgia State University. And all throughout these years, even at Georgia State University, where I received partial scholarship, I did digital things, digital activities, such as, for example, at Georgia State University, I built a blog. I wrote a blog twice a week. I filmed videos of me and different students. I delivered presentations. So this classroom law for my little children, I took and applied to my law for adults and educating and developing adults. And using my leadership skills, I've helped over the years many organizations and many business professionals to get up to speed with digital transformation. I taught not only emotional intelligence and goal setting, soft skills, to multiple organizations, but also LinkedIn for lead generation and Vidyard to propel clients through your pipeline to close more deals faster. I actually hold 7 marketing awards and 1 B2B Sales Enablement Award using Vidyard. So I've worked throughout my career here in America with teams in technology, B2B SaaS. SaaS stands for software as a service. B2B means business to business. I've also worked at a large healthcare organization with 2,400 physicians, 72 service lines, 12 signature service lines. And I got to travel from hospital to hospital proposing digital transformation to high-power physicians and persuading them to surrender their editorial rights to a 10,000-page website to me. From establishing governance procedures to running up to 52 campaigns in the marketplace, building various dashboards, actually developing creatives for which I was recognized with awards, to building multiple websites, doing search engine optimization. I've done it all. And throughout those experiences, I've learned how to gain a buy-in for important decisions. And digital transformation, such as Salesforce implementations, involve stakeholders who sometimes are crippled and cannot make decisions or pulling in different directions. And I've been very successful at using analytics and using my business acumen to help leadership make important decisions that move business forward and help scale it. My passion for Salesforce configuration developed naturally from working on 5 B2B go-to-market teams, seeing firsthand how Salesforce can either be a tool that enables your business growth or hinders it. And I decided to get hands-on, get really dirty, with my hands being super dirty, like dirt under my nails. That's how I think about me and Salesforce, so that I can actually build technology solutions that enable businesses instead of hindering them.
Thanks so much for sharing your journey, Anna. That's awesome. Obviously, what we're taking away here is that Anna has a wide range of experience across all aspects of digital modernization and transformation. So you don't have to frame your questions solely in the constraints of the topics today. Please feel free to ask whatever you'd like. And with that, what we'll do here for folks that are attending for the first time is I always like to review the purpose of office hours, because there are some new faces out there, which is awesome. Welcome. So if you're not aware, these sessions are an informal get-together for gathering with military trailblazers as well as allies. Everyone is welcome to explore non-technical Salesforce career and branding related topics in order to help you achieve your professional development and career related goals. So for this next hour, this is your collaborative mentorship opportunity. It's your chance to ask questions and answer them as well. And of course, the more that you participate, the better dialogue that we'll have and the richer answers that will be derived from the questions. Do please keep an eye on the chat window during tonight's session. I've already started to post items in there. I'll continue throughout the rest of the evening, and others have posted as well and will continue to post. Also, if you want to share your LinkedIn profile, this is a great opportunity to network. Please go ahead and do that. If you have a question at any point during today's session, this is your session, so please feel free to either raise your hand or post it in chat if you don't want to speak up, and I'll call on you in the order that it's received. And then finally, tonight's session is being recorded, so if you'd like to share an attribution-free comment, just let me know before speaking, and I can go ahead and make sure that it's edited out of the final recording. So we're going to go ahead and get it kicked off. The things that we'll cover today: building a brand, building a network, learning an exam prep, which many of you are probably here for that one, as well as giving back and the impact that it can have upon your career. But we're going to start with building a brand. And so one of the most important things to consider when transitioning to a new industry, a new company, or a new role is your brand. Anna, could you share with us what your brand is, what it's based upon?
Thank you, David. That's a great question. I would like, before I move forward with answering this, I would like to tell all our wonderful Trailblazers here that I did not come empty-handed. I came with a gift, and the gift is going to be a one-on-one mentorship session with me for 45 minutes. And this gift will be offered to the Trailblazer who asks the most meaningful questions. Ask questions, definitely make sure that you get on camera as you want to ask me questions. Make sure that they're thought-provoking and value-added, because I would like this to be not a conversation where everybody agrees with me, but a thought-provoking conversation that would entice growth for many Trailblazers, not only present here today, but for years to come as they watch this in replay on YouTube. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe and make sure you click the like button. As far as my brand, I only have a brand when it comes to your view of me. Whatever you think my brand is, that is my brand in your eyes. I do not personally have a brand because I did not manufacture it. What am I talking about? And I am a person who won 7 marketing awards? Am I crazy? No, I'm not crazy. I am a branding expert who helped 22 different businesses develop and execute branding. And a brand is something you create, you think it through, you manufacture its assets and message, and then for the duration of your business, unless you pivot and do rebranding, you adhere to that brand and you act in such a way as to ensure that you do not damage your brand. That's the opposite of what I'm doing. I do whatever I want. So what is it that I have instead of having a brand? I have my real, authentic self. As a real, authentic self, I have a good friendship with myself. And knowing myself deeply and intimately, I deleted all my social media in 2020 after I delivered my TEDx talk called The Healing Power of Self-Pity, where I, the high achiever, the award-winning author, a person who taught herself English in 1.5 years by listening to Frank Sinatra, I, a person who manufactured a brand out there for myself on LinkedIn and Facebook since 2010, who appeared to have it all together, hold my head up high all the time, and never let anybody see me cry. I delivered a TEDx talk called The Healing Power of Self-Pity, where I persuaded everybody to cry. And since I've done a lot of deep work on my life story and my own healing, I refuse to be a brand. I refuse to manufacture anything about myself. I refuse to agree with anybody who says that I appear sophisticated and have my life figured out, or I appear like I have it all together. I rebuke immediately such false beliefs by telling people how much I struggle, how much self-doubt and insecurity I experience every single day. That is the reason why I was able to earn so many certifications so quickly and get my dream job, because I see myself as a real human woman. So I do not pep talk myself when I struggle, when I'm overwhelmed with learning Salesforce. I do not set big goals of achieving 11 or 7 or 3 certifications by a certain period of time. I just go for 1 certification, just one little step at a time with many breaks, lots of naps, and definitely standing on my head and crying when appropriate. So people think that my brand is that it's easy to earn certifications, easy to get your dream job, and you can do it fast. That is not my brand. That is only my brand in those people's eyes if they don't invest time into getting to know me. People who read the articles such as those I shared with you in the chat while David was talking, and I will share with you more, those people know, people who watch my YouTube videos, they know that I always talk about my real authentic self and having humility instead of having a brand. Humility means that I recognize that sometimes I have a lot of energy to go after my dreams, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I may be like, let me get after this cert. And the next day, I may get another cert. And in September, in 4 days, I earned 3 certifications. And in December, I told myself, listen, girl, I'm tired. I need a break. I am going to do nothing. And in fact, I'm going to go and on Google Maps, bookmark all the parks I want to visit in this new town where I live. And I am going to go and do absolutely nothing. So if you go to my LinkedIn profile and you see, wow, well, how is this true that Anna says this when she earned Slack consultant certification on December 5th? No, I did not. I earned it on November 19th, but I was in Slack consultant beta, and Slack launched certification to the general public on December 5th, which is why they issued it to me on December 5th. But I did not earn any certifications in December whatsoever. And on New Year's Eve, I told myself, okay, you rested plenty. Let's go after field service. And I earned it that night. So my brand is my authentic real self. If I want to come here, I'm going to bring my full real self. If you ask me questions that will make me cry, I will cry. If you ask me questions that will make me laugh, I will laugh. I will talk to you about high achievement and taking naps and giving yourself a break and doing absolutely nothing, getting quiet, meditating, journaling about the little things, and taking a nap again. That is my brand. When I told you that I do things the opposite of what branding is, you guys probably saw recently that I was bullied, and I published that letter on LinkedIn, which created 40,000 views and shook up the Ohana ecosystem. If I did have a manufactured brand, if my thought process was, how do I position myself for success in this ecosystem? How do I make sure that you all perceive me as a solid, stable, smiley, happy, high achiever? I would never have posted a letter in which I was bullied, in which I was told that I'm completely worthless, in which I was just picked apart as a human being. But I posted that letter because I do not have a brand, and I do not care what anybody thinks about my brand. Many different people supported me. Thank you, David, for being a man and a friend and stepping in and supporting me. And many people attacked me. If I did have a brand, I would be very disappointed, and I would manage my brand effectively. What I did was the opposite. It would be very ineffective, terrible branding and complete PR crisis. But because I'm not a brand and I'm a real human woman, and when a man attacks me like this and goes after me to minify me, diminish me, I'm going to post about it because I knew that that man attacked many women, and I exposed it. And now Salesforce created a form where all members of the Ohana can submit their reports of bullying.
Yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you, Anna, and that was, I think that was last week. Remember commenting on that. Your take on branding is interesting, and I would argue, because as we all know, I'm a huge proponent of branding, and one of the reasons why I invited Anna on was because we share very different views, and all different approaches to I guess professional development in the ecosystem are equally valuable, and obviously we don't want to present one way to do things. We want to present a wide variety of ways to do things, and you choose the one that's most impactful for you. But Anna, I would argue that your brand is authenticity.
Yes.
So I would actually reframe it
Yes,
in a
and there's
branding
a
definition.
person who will agree with you today, David Freeman. When he talks, he's gonna talk about it because that is his perspective too. I agree with you. Authenticity is my brand, but what a brand is to a marketer like me, there must be a message, there must be consistency, there must be assets. We must never create a PR crisis. Don't do anything to sacrifice your brand. I don't have that.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I also like what you said earlier when you were getting started with the discussion on branding is what you think my brand is, that is what my brand is, which points to the fact that your brand in and of itself isn't one thing. My brand is many different things to many different people depending upon my interactions with them. So that's a critical point to have. And I wanted to call that out. Elio, you've got your hand raised for a question.
Yeah, just a quick comment on brand, because I think the way that we used it for the transitioning veterans, it's more so for a vehicle to understand how you need to position yourself in the private sector, you know. And so we use the term, I wouldn't say as a vehicle of who I am. How do you differentiate yourself, right? When you're applying for a role, right, there's usually a lot of candidates, especially in tech. I've been in tech 25 years, and you have, you know, on average nowadays, 300-400 applicants at minimum for one role. So how do you differentiate yourself? And we talk to folks about what is your, you know, what is your brand, for a lack of a better term, meaning why should we look at you differently than all the other candidates?
Yep.
Right. So maybe there's a better term, and I understand where you're coming from, Anna. Is maybe you can teach us on maybe what kind of terminology we can use to identify our own uniqueness, because today we for a lack of a better term, lazy so, we use the term brand to better identify how we wrap ourselves in a way that a prospective hiring manager understands. Oh, this person brings this to the table, right? Themselves, certifications, military background, all of these skills that are aligned to the role that we're trying to fit. And so that was my thought, but I agree with you, Anna. Go ahead.
This is a great question. This is such a good, profound question. And I just want to make sure that we also move beyond this topic soon, because we don't want to dedicate all of our hour to it. But I will answer your question, and I will call on this. When David sent me his questions, when I looked at it, I asked David, I said, David, would you like me to change questions, or would you like us to have a healthy debate? And I told him up front, I would prefer a healthy debate, because I don't want everybody to agree with me. That's terrible. If everybody in the room thinks alike, nobody's thinking. So when I contact employers, and when I contacted employers as I was looking for jobs back in 2022, I got 100% response rate to my little letter, very short, because I'm a marketer. Okay, I know people's attention span is 7 seconds. That's 1 second less than that of a goldfish. I listed all of my accomplishments, starting from the biggest to the smallest, which were quite big, the smallest of my accomplishments. How many articles I wrote for you, Trailblazers? How many videos I produced for you, Trailblazers? How many times I am a Trailhead Ranger? How many certs I earned in how many days? I listed all of this, and I got great responses. But from a perspective that you're bringing this, how should we go about it? We should totally go about it the way you're going about it, which is building a brand. From a human perspective, whom I'm bringing to you today, the real Anna Szabo, an integrated identity of the high achiever and a real person with feelings. Took 40 years to get here. I will tell you, I do not have a brand I manufacture. When it comes to difficult decisions, will I accept this job offer, or will I accept this job offer? I ended up with multiple offers in 6 figures for my first Salesforce job. I go with the real Anna, not the Anna for whom something would look better on resume, because I was in final stages of interviewing with a very large company that all of you love. And I accepted an offer from a small company, 20 people company, because of the real, genuine Anna, not a brand perspective. So there is not a better word to talk about it. And you should absolutely go the way you have been going about it. Why I deleted my social media, including my LinkedIn with 10,000 connections, 101 recommendations. I deleted everything in one night in 2020, a month after I delivered my TEDx talk, where I admitted the kind of cruelty and abuse I endured as a child. My mother molested me when I was 5 years old. My father spent all his life in prison. I was raised by alcoholics and beaten almost every single day. And I was told, you are worthless, stupid, and ugly. You will never amount to anything. You think people like you? There's nothing to like about you. That's how my mom talked to me. And when I was able to integrate my identity as a high achiever, which I am, but also a real person who needs rest and needs a good freaking cry and can get really overwhelmed. I am a real human. And from that perspective, I will say, I did not manufacture anything, but I do, as you notice, if you follow me on LinkedIn, I do always post how many times I'm certified in how few days. And I do it to attract high achievers who reach out to me, and then I give them a permission to calm down and cry.
I love it. I appreciate you taking the extra time, Anna, on this important topic. And to your earlier point, I do want to move on because we do have a lot of things to discuss. I want to touch very briefly on networking, and then we'll move right into the exam certification preparation and study strategy techniques. And so just one quick question on building a network. And I would argue one of the things that you promote about yourself is the 11 certifications in your first 7 months, which is awesome. And the other one that you mentioned, which is equally as impressive, is that you amassed over 6,000 followers on LinkedIn. And so how did you build your LinkedIn network so quickly? And how did you build a quality network where the connections that you pulled into your network were relevant and ultimately helped you move along your professional path?
Thank you, David. This is a very profound question. I do not have 6,000 connections or 5,000 connections or 2,000 connections. I have followers. To connect with me on LinkedIn is not easy. I ask difficult questions. This is how I say it. David, what enticed you to connect with me today? Thank you for reaching out. And if a person does not respond in a way that I see this person truly wants to connect with me, the real Anna I told you about, not some branded Anna in the way people perceive Anna, but the real me, a human, then I don't connect. When I reach out to people to connect, those are people I researched and I know I want to connect with them because I want to speak with them. So with that being said, 98% of the people I am currently connected with on LinkedIn, I spoke with. And I chose to connect with them, not because I was forced by somebody, but because I made a deliberate decision that this person is a good person for me to talk to. And that they are deep, sane, interesting, multifaceted, and then they see me for the real me. As far as me promoting how many followers I have on LinkedIn, I only post about it because people are so interested. And that's why I post about it. I do not care even a little bit how many followers I have on LinkedIn. What I care about is real conversation, the type that you and I can have, where you tell me that you too, like me, are an introvert, and where we can talk about our contribution to community, being communicative, being leaders in a community, making time for people, and then retrieving and naturally wanting to hide under the bed and be quiet. That validates my humanity. And I love you so much, David, because you have validated my humanity on this journey in so many ways. Those are the kinds of people I connect with. But as far as following me, anybody is free to follow me. And if a person follows me and they share their art and they share their poems and they share how I impacted them, it's highly likely that eventually I'm going to connect with them. And one of those people who shared her art on my art, poetry and all of that, I was matched with by an automated system, by Trailhead mentorship. And when I saw who the person was, I'm looking at my phone, it says, congratulations, you're now a mentor for this person. And I saw it was that person who's been so meaningful to me. I'm like, there is literally no way this happened. And I remember reaching out to her and I said, Renu, is that you who is my mentee? How can this be? We're too perfect for each other. She said, yes, it's me. I can't believe it either. So I cherish real human, authentic connection, heart to heart. I don't care about any numbers whatsoever. I care about people.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And it stems, again, I would argue it stems from your brand as an authentic, real person, as a human. What I do want to do now is, before we get into learning and exam prep, which I know we're all excited about, I want to take a quick break for a group photo so we can all always be branding, and share that on social media. And so if you'd like to participate, totally optional, go ahead and unmute your video and I will snap a quick picture of the group.
Let's all share this.
Please.
I can only give one because I gotta use my other hand for the screen capture, but give you a count of three, and make sure I'm doing this right. There we go. 3, 2, 1. All right. Excellent. Thank you so much. And we will move on. So we've reached the part of the session that I know many of you are excited about. I'm excited about it as well, because obviously I have my own way to prepare for and pass exams, and I'm really excited to see how Anna does it. And Anna, this is something that you're amazing at. But before we get to discussing tools and strategies, I want to open this part of the session with a foundational question, a question on goal setting, because you've mentioned throughout that you've set goals and then you've set kind of you've set professional development goals where you've chosen to earn one or more certifications, but you've also set goals to take rest and to do nothing, which is phenomenal and builds into that life-work balance equation that you have to consider. How do you choose your professional development and your rest goals, and what steps do you personally take to achieve them? What's your method? Recognizing that this is one method, there's lots out there, but I'd love to know what yours is.
This is my book. Anna Stevens is me, so don't be deceived by the last name. I am also Anna Stevens. You know, women get married and stuff like that. This is a book I wrote in 2013, and I was recognized for it by International Book Awards and Indie Excellence Awards. It outlines my methodology, and it outlines my mindset. Specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound are the goals I set, but not 3 at a time, 1 at a time, just one. And my goal was to become Salesforce certified administrator. I'll be honest with you, I highly doubted that I could do it because it was quite a lot and my head was spinning. For 2.5 weeks in my boot camp by Salesforce, I was behind everybody, and it all sounded like blah, 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 when we would have boot camp sessions, when there would be a knowledge checking. It was like, I have no clue. I'm going to give up. I'm going to quit. But because I have my good friendship with Anna, the emotional brain of mine, you know, we all have 2 brains. We have thinking brain, that's our evolved brain, modern brain. And then we have our reptilian brain. That is our feeling brain. That is our emotional brain, primitive brain. So primitive brain, emotional brain will always win. So you got to negotiate. So I persuaded myself not to quit today, maybe tomorrow. Take a nap today. So for 2.5 weeks, I did my best. It was like blah, blah, blah. And then it clicked all at once. In week 3, I caught up. In week 4, I completed my 6-week boot camp 2 weeks earlier. And before my boot camp ever got into week 5, I was already Salesforce certified administrator. And David, you commented on my video where I shared about it that day, and you saw me screaming. I was like, what? I took my phone and I sent a message to everybody and their brother, like, I did it. And then I set the next little goal for business analyst. And the next little goal punched me in the face. And that was Sales Cloud consultant, because I failed that exam. When I failed that exam, I was shocked. I was like, what do you mean I failed? What do you mean fail? I graduated from 4 universities, 3 of them with high honors, 2 of them on full scholarship. Just think how many exams I took in my life. I could not comprehend how I failed Sales Cloud exam. But you see, if I think about Anna as a high achiever, that's really bad. But if I think about Anna as a real human, that's completely natural. People fail exams all the time. I needed some help with it. So I reached out to people who are 38 times Salesforce certified, 27 times Salesforce certified. And one of the guys who's super brilliant, 20 plus times certified, he said, why are you crying? Why are you shaking? Because you failed an exam? Hold on. He took me to his web assessor, this brilliant guy, and he started scrolling. And I'm like, what? It says fail, 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 pass, fail, 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 pass. I'm like, oh, what? It's normal to fail Salesforce exams? And that gave me a permission to just chill, calm down, relax. You'll be fine. The world will still be standing here if you fail a Salesforce exam. Okay, you can try again. And indeed, I tried after I was able to manage myself with humility, that I'm not somebody who cannot fail. Of course I can fail. And now I am 11 times certified, but I failed Marketing Cloud consultant exam 3 times. And I failed Marketing Cloud exams 5 times because I failed Marketing Cloud admin and then I passed. And I failed Marketing Cloud email specialist and then I passed. And I'm going again for Marketing Cloud consultant and maybe I will fail and I'll be okay. So my goals for REST are divided into 2 categories. Some of them are non-negotiables. 10,000 steps a day. I must take a cold shower every morning and I must take a hot shower every night. I cook every day. I eat lots of plants. I eat my own cooking and I sleep my 8 hours. Outside of that, if I'm doing right now, I'm doing CPQ, I'm interviewing for jobs. I'm still on payroll with Agency 73, but I'm looking for a new job as a Salesforce consultant. If I get overwhelmed, the second part of my self-care is non-negotiable. If I overwhelm myself with demands for high achievement and I feel resentful toward myself, we're going on a walk or to the park or standing on my head. It's non-negotiable. I will not push myself to the point where I hate myself and my goals. As far as how I choose the goals I set, that is driven by my job search experience. I was interviewed by 70 companies. And in every job interview, I was asked to have this and this and this and this and the other certifications. So whichever ones are the most common, I decided to go for them. And also my interest in certifications is driven by my heart. For example, I have mentors at my church who were affected by COVID twice, and they were hiding at home. But because we need our AC changed sometimes, we need this, and the other, people still would come into your home, and people who are elderly can be affected by it. That experience led me to fall in love with virtual remote assistant, Field Service Cloud, which is why I went passionately to pursue my certification in Field Service Cloud, because Field Service Cloud can prevent people from having others in their space. And I'm glad to report that I am a field service certified consultant and I am an Experience Cloud consultant because I started building Experience Cloud websites for you guys back in July for your portfolio, for my portfolio. And I built so many of them, I decided to become certified. Sales Cloud is most aligned with my experience in sales and marketing. Marketing Cloud is aligned with my experience. Service Cloud is my love and passion because it can do so much and save sanity for some of my friends who are in service. And what I'm going for now is my understanding from my Salesforce consultant experience is that every client asks me for sharing and visibility recommendations. So I went and earned my sharing and visibility architect. Now data architect is what I'm working on. But CPQ also goes with field service, which is why I'm going after CPQ. CPQ, field service, some Slack. I became a Slack certified consultant. Together, this is all fitting into my experience with RevOps. So yeah, that's how I choose.
I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing your goal setting strategy, both for your professional development goals and your REST goals. We've got a couple of hands raised. I see Iris's hand, but Andrea had a question or a comment earlier on. So Andrea, I wanted to call on you to make sure that, or to see if you still had that question or comment.
Yes. So I have met a lot of people in the military and veteran community who are so very afraid of being vulnerable. And I think that you do a great job of showing vulnerability as a strength. So what would you say to somebody who is genuinely terrified of being vulnerable?
I love you. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for this. I encourage you. I'm not going to look for it now because I'm going to give my full attention to you. I encourage you. And David, if you can find it, my TEDx talk, The Healing Power of Self-Pity, it's on my YouTube channel. I encourage everybody to watch my TEDx talk because it is through my TEDx talk that I came out naked. Naked means uncovered, without pretenses. To share that I was abused and molested by my mother who hated me and went to abort me. It does not come easily in any way, shape, or form. But the truth is this: I am a 3-time suicide survivor. And from wrestling with life and its meaning and my space on this earth, and also space for me in this ecosystem, I will tell you that I will never agree with the perception of me that I have my life together and I got it figured out. On a day when I was planning suicide, you will hear from my TEDx talk, during my divorce with a man who betrayed me, a woman said to me, you know, guys, in real life, I'm 5'10". I look like a Victoria's Secret model. I've done 11 years of modeling and I do my catwalk. That's how I walk in real life. And a woman came to me and she said, oh my God, you look so sophisticated. I wish I could be like you. You just look like you have your life figured out. That was when I contemplated ending my life. And this I hate. To be able to have friendships. And my best friend is a woman who runs a team of 38 doctors. She deals with people who do not have, they have organs falling out of their bodies. Some of the people she deals with as a doctor, they do not have half of their skull attached. Their brain is exposed. And when we talk almost every day, we validate each other's humanity. And I say that sometimes life rocks and sometimes it sucks. This is humility, to recognize that there are days when I'm in so much emotional pain, I'm really sad. And when people stepped in to say on that bullying letter from the guy, they stepped in and they said, I know you have a tough skin. No, I do not have a tough skin and I will never accept it. I'm a real human and I'm in pain. Can we talk about bullying? So I would say the way to, I'm going to show you through my poem. It is a journey. The journey started with my addiction recovery, with a 12-step program, with me becoming Christian and finding Jesus, with me realizing that I cannot go on being hidden and covered up in toxic positivity, the happiness illusion. I can't go on like this. So here's my poem for you to help you understand how your friends can get to a place of humility. It is a journey. It is truly a journey. Here's my poem. And thank you so much, Andrea, for asking about it. This is the most important question of my lifetime. Because I believe if more people were able to accept their humanity, we wouldn't have somebody like Twitch walk 14 minutes away from his home and shoot himself in his head. There is a way to say, I'm really hurting. Can you hold me? Can I cry? My girlfriends would come, hold me as a platonically, you understand? And just let me weep as I was going through my divorce and through all this healing that I shared with you. Anxiety. I'm suffocating from all-consuming anxiety. It paralyzes me and causes me to panic. Because of this, I question my sobriety. I'm tired of feeling out of control and manic. Sobriety exposed my hidden vulnerability, turning me from a warfare tank into a real human. Being sober and anxious, I now have humility to admit honestly that I am a broken, fragile, needy woman. I need encouragement, love, and friendship. I need understanding and real connection. I need with God an authentic relationship. I need people's genuine platonic affection. I need approval, acceptance, and validation. I need security, respect, and kindness. I need also lots of words of affirmation. I need meaningful fellowship and mind likeness. So here I am, realizing these essential needs and being willing to admit my vulnerability. I see clearly now where this journey leads. Towards servant leadership through humility.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Anna. I appreciate you taking the opportunity to be vulnerable with us tonight. It's very, very impactful. I do want to call on Iris. Iris, you had your hand raised for a question or comment.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much for being here today, Anna, and showing us your authentic self. We appreciate you being here. I was just going to ask, you have done an incredible amount of stuff. And when people are transitioning into this new career field, a lot of people that I'm seeing are in the transitioning from the military spouses, and they've got a lot of anxiety and stuff with them as they're going along. So when you have so much, how would you like narrow that vision so that you don't feel like you have to do all of the things that you've done? Because sometimes it can seem overwhelming. And when you felt so much and you've got trying to move across the world and all of those things, what would you advise?
Iris, thank you for this question. When this, by the way, this is when you go to open mic poetry events, when you speak something that resonates so much with other people in the audience, this is what you're going to hear. Can we please call David Freeman on stage? David Freeman is going to answer this question for Iris, because David Freeman learned something from me that helped him with what you just asked me about. Really, Iris, the quick answer is you have to give yourself a permission to completely fall apart. David Freeman, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, David, good to see you.
In a couple of minutes, can you please share what you and I discussed, how you, from the moment you reached out to me about my poem, Purpose from Pain, and then how did you get here, like 2 minutes?
Oh, man.
When it comes to this component of managing anxiety and your feelings.
So roughly about a month ago, I was freaking out. I've been in IT for over a decade. I've done everything from network engineering to system engineering. dealt with all the different kind of softwares, and I started my Trailblazer journey in March. And I got my admin. I did a lot of sprints. I learned analytics, but I really had a problem with doing things like this now. So I would have never been speaking to you guys like this before. And I don't network because I'm already an introvert. And then after COVID, I just never had to go outside for anything. I don't go to the store. I don't even shop. I know my size. Amazon delivers it, and I wear it around the house, so I'm good to go. But in about late December, I was actually going through a program, an amazing program, but I wasn't getting any attention. I wasn't getting any hits. I had set this lofty goal for myself because I just knew I had this IT background. I have this personality that once you get to know me, I'm cool, but I'm not going to be the one to reach out to you. I'm not going to send the first text. So I was freaking out, and I remember it as reading poem number 262. That's what it is in my head. And it might have been 3 a.m. in the morning, my time. And I'm sitting at my computer trying to figure out what to skill up on next because my admin cert just wasn't enough for me to get in the ecosystem, I felt like. And so I reached out, and I think like sometime within a few minutes, she responded at like 3 a.m. and that was our.
I'm gonna interrupt here, and I'm gonna share. This is what you said. Okay. You said number 262, purpose from pain. That's my point. And you said, thank you for this. It is 3:30 a.m. and I'm sitting in front of my PC questioning my purpose when this pops up in my feed with the message I needed. Thank you for putting this out there. And I told you immediately, I saw that your solution is high achiever. And I said, listen, solutionist, you are a high achiever who always needs to have a daily answer to the do I matter question. You always want to walk the extra mile and meaningful impact. And I told you, you need to feel your feelings and you need to let yourself just feel whatever it is and feel overwhelmed. And then how did it impact you? Because remember, the question Iris asked is, how do you actually allow yourself? Somehow through this conversation, you got to the next level of allowing. Share with us, because we only have a few minutes left.
Okay. Short version is, I had to stop comparing myself to everybody else. I had to stop trying to live in a persona and really figure out what my personality was and start showing my personality. And that's the short version of it. I'm ex-military soldier. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Just tell me what needs to be done. I get it done. So, you know, just really having somebody else say it and giving myself permission to kind of freak out a little bit and being okay with freaking out a little bit, it brought me back down and helped me kind of communicate a little more too. So
thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on stage and doing it. And this, Iris, this is how I'm going to finish answering your question. This is what David said. That is spot on. I have been feeling like I'm not achieving enough. That resonates with a person in my head. As if I have this huge thing I need to complete, but I don't have any pieces and I don't know where to start and I'm in rush to fix it. If that makes any sense. Heck yeah, it makes total sense to me, the high achiever. And how do you balance it with your real human person, with the emotional brain? You allow yourself to fall apart. You allow yourself to get overwhelmed. I allow myself to go right here called bed. Then I lie there under blankets. I do nothing and I stare at the ceiling. And I don't care who's calling me or what I need to accomplish or achieve. I'm just chilling and breathing, praying to God and thinking through my life. So allow yourself to be human. That is my solution. And I do want to talk about certification preparation. It is a mindset. The mindset has to do something with switching. There has to be something that happens to you that you believe that you can. And from that belief, you do. Whatever your mind can conceive and your heart believe, you can achieve. And to testify about it, I would like to call on stage William, who met me on October 5th when he had 1 certification. And today, a few days later, he has 1 million. William, welcome on stage. Please testify very briefly in a few minutes. What happened to you when you found me on YouTube and you heard me talk to you and your heart?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm also a military trailblazer, Army, infantry, airborne, HUA. When I discovered Anna's channel, 3 ways to get certified, 3 tips to do your business analyst certification. The first one was don't trust the pretty answer. And I just laughed. I heard it an hour before my test. I passed the test and then I subscribed. And as I watched Anna get more and more certifications, I thought it's kind of fun. But I just want a job. I already have my 2 certifications. So I continued taking tests. I secured my role in November. And I thought I was done. But I ended up with 8 certifications all the way to platform developer in my first 100 days, just from trying to keep up with Anna. Then I thought I'd be done, started my new role 3 weeks later, finished up my application architect. So I'm at 12 certifications in 122 days. And I'm halfway there. So I'm going to keep going, complete the military Trailblazer program. I think there's 21 total. So MuleSoft, watch out. I'm coming. Amazon,
William,
my biggest cheerleader.
How many certifications do you have today?
12 in 122 days.
Did you hear, guys? Can you please repeat, William? You have?
Yeah. 12, 122 days, U.S. Army paratrooper. Cool.
You guys, that's my advice to you. Whatever your mind can conceive and in your heart you can believe. Now, William tells you that I inspired him and he was trying to keep up with me. Well, y'all, now I'm trying to keep up with him. Here are my tips. You need to make flashcards. Flashcards. People literally ask me, people I mentor all over the world. I work with people who have 10 years of experience and newbies. Right now, I mentor a person in England. Flashcards are paper. And then you take these things called pen, pencil, and you write using your hand, the best device ever invented. You do like this. This is how you make a flashcard. Whatever new information you recognize you need to remember, this is how you go about it. And all these are flashcards I created for myself for Experience Cloud. This is 1/3 of them. You end up with this. You divide them per topic. You collected information from YouTube, from Trailhead live demos, and you divide them per topic all together. And then you go and you read them out loud in your voice. So by watching videos and demos on YouTube, you get that classroom experience. By reading, you get that learning from just reading, practicing in your mind. By writing and by doing in Trailhead, you actually get that tacit experience. And then you combine it together with your voice, going over all this. You get auditory learning. And then when you get to your exam, you let it all go. Don't be a high achiever. Just be a hero on a learning journey. Just like William said, it's fun to learn. When you get to your exam, I want you to calm down, just like this. I sit down and typically I'm in my robe or in my pajamas. Take a breath. Okay, let me read here on the screen. What is this? Let me read some options for question. Okay, if it takes more than 1 minute, I'm going to answer whatever, and I'm going to mark for review and move on. Once I see all 65 questions, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do deep thinking. If you get into the exam, many people report, because I've helped thousands of trailblazers to become Salesforce certified. People report to me how they feel in their neck, like they're going to suffocate. Just calm down, stretch, Oh, life is good. My wife is not going to kill me, even if I fail my exam. And I say it because I mentored a trailblazer who said, I'm going to let down you. I'm going to let down my wife. I'm going to be a loser. And I called his wife into our session and I said, can you please answer the question, do you want him to be a hero on a learning journey, or do you just need him to pass the exam? She said, I do not care if he passes anything. I want him to be learning and growing. And that helped him calm down. So just make sure that you're there doing your best for the entire duration of your exam. Do not quit on that exam until your time is up. Please don't. If you're tired, close your eyes and just relax and breathe. And that is how I take my exams. And if you fail, the world is going to survive and you'll be okay. One final thing, allow yourself to quit Salesforce. And I mean, in your mind, please don't do any kind of cancellations of any programs, okay? In your mind, quit. I have a friend and her name is Maria. That's the doctor I told you about. And I call her. I failed Marketing Cloud again. I'm so tired of it. I will never take these certifications again. Forever, I'm done. Maria, I think this is completely valid. You already earned certifications. You learned so much. You are absolutely allowed to quit forever. Don't even think about earning another certification. Just give up on this. 2 days later, after I rested and watched some Disney Plus cartoons and stood on my head, I'm calling Maria. So I decided to schedule my field service consultant exam. Maria, I think this is a great idea. It's very valid. You deserve to grow professionally. So you need to be that kind of friend to yourself. If you want to quit Salesforce for good as far as canceling any programs, do not do it. Stop. Stop. Take a nap. Go take a hot shower. If it's a good idea for you to quit, think it through tomorrow. But in your mind, quit anytime you're tired. And then don't think about it. Watch some cartoons, do something different. And then you have my permission to change your mind and go back to Salesforce.
That's how I feel about complicated flows. I get mad and I leave, then I come back later. No, it's extremely helpful, Anna. I appreciate that. And really, this has been an amazing hour focused on authenticity, upon being a real human and learning that you don't need to compare yourself to other folks. You know, and that's something that I struggle with as well, because I compare myself to me and I don't want to let myself down. But back to your earlier point, where ultimately you just need to breathe, stretch, relax. It's all going to be okay. And don't put the pressure on yourself. It doesn't need to be there. So before we close, I do want to thank you. And
I want to bless you with the poem. May I?
Yeah, sure, of course.
And also, while I'm sharing this poem, I want you to think, I do have a few minutes and I can stay if anybody wants to ask last-minute questions. If you cannot stay, I understand, but I do want to assert that I can stay. And so here is a poem I wrote as a letter to myself, which encouraged many, many trailblazers. It's called Give Yourself a Chance. And it's going to resonate with you, but it's actually a letter to myself. When feeling scared, just give yourself a chance. By analyzing paralyzed, you can't advance. To make some progress, starting is a must. While outcomes pursuing, please, the process trust. Just give yourself a chance so you can soar. View learning as a blessing, not a chore. For outcomes to happen, you must start the process. Engage in learning to ensure your progress. Yes, you can do it. Give yourself a chance. At future, not the past, I recommend you glance. A vision helps you through the journey to advance. Get started, please. Just give yourself a chance.
Thank you. If you do want to stay for a couple extra minutes and chat with Anna, we'll go ahead and keep the channel open. But for the rest of you folks, I want to thank you for the past hour and spending your time with us on a Wednesday. And I also want to thank Anna for spending her hour with us and educating us on what it means to be vulnerable and authentic, and also how to pass Salesforce exams. So thanks so much, Anna.
I love you guys. Ask away. I'm here. I'm going to stay. Ask me questions. Is there anybody who wants to ask questions or no?
Well, yeah, I'll ask a question. And it kind of goes back to branding and personality and such for me, because I think that's been the hardest for me. And I'm not really trying to gain a lot of followers or contacts.
We can't see you, by the way, David.
One more time?
We cannot see you at all.
Oh yeah, I closed my camera.
Okay.
I'm kind of a weirdo. But so I guess my question is not really how to network, but I want to get into posting my experiences. I spend a lot of time on Trailhead, driving myself crazy, and I take screenshots for my own notes. How do I turn that into meaningful posts where I can start kind of helping others learn from my experiences and kind of sharing my experience in that way?
This is a very good question. So many people think that I spend a lot of time writing my posts, but I don't. What I want to say flows from something that happened, either to me or to my mentees, questions you guys ask me. In that moment, when I feel like it's a teachable moment, that is when I'm going to share something. So I do not sit down to plan anything. It stems from real life experiences. So I'm sure that right here within this group, as you meet people, you hear conversations. You hear that somebody, even right now, the question that we were asked about how to share vulnerability, how to actually allow yourself to feel anxiety. Just hearing these questions coming from real humans whom you know, you can write multiple posts sharing your experiences, what you've learned from me, how my interaction with me helped you. And once you start writing, people will start commenting. They will write you letters from the bottom of their heart. I received hundreds of letters from Trailblazers telling me even how they plan to commit suicide because they're so depressed, because they have to reschedule their exams, because they cannot make themselves go into the exam because the world is going to collapse if they fail. So from these real life interactions with real life humans, the way I see it is, now, I never met you. This is the first time I actually see you in real life. But when you reached out to me, I saw you as a real human, as if you knocked on my door and I would invite you, make you some hot tea or homemade soup that I cook regularly, and I would listen to you and I would understand you. And I listened to you and I understood you. And from those kinds of interactions come the things I want to say to you. Who is that you I'm typically writing to? To you, Trailblazer. That is you. You, David. You, Andre. You, William. You, whoever is the Trailblazer who wrote me letters again and again about their anxiety and then their progress, not believing in themselves and getting inspired by me, being set on fire and believing. I didn't do anything to them. I just said something that switched their mind. So you can be that person who can switch some mind for somebody else. Invest in their heart. And if you start making posts to the real person, even the you met here today, you met several yous whom you could write to and get started, and then it's just going to flow. I would recommend to make posts that add value, that set an example of what's possible, and that promote encouragement and empowerment within our community and kindness. Everybody wants to feel understood. You testified here today how much you felt understood by me. That is the reason why I'm still here. I mean, on earth. And life matters, and my life matters, and I know it.
Thank you for that. Actually, I got a little follow-up for that. So I know we've been talking about authenticity and just kind of being your authentic self. And you have a good blend of authenticity and transparency in your branding. Now, I could be authentic, but I'm not ready to be that transparent. Is that okay?
I definitely can never say it's not okay. I will absolutely assure you that there will be people who will bully you. I'm just going to give you guys my website. So my website is not, well, salesforceanna.com. Everybody knows that. But there is a different website I have, different kind of website. I have annaszabo.com. Annaszabo.com, if you go to annaszabo.com /annaszabo, this is 65,000 words about my story, my life story, and what I've gone through. Things like being choked by my grandmother when I was little to the point of dying, nobody believing me, everybody diminishing my experiences. Just so many things, you know, and just my mom constantly beating me to the point of turning black and blue and telling me I'm worthless and don't deserve to live on earth. And she encouraged me to commit suicide twice, which I did at 11 and 12. So when I started sharing this a little bit at the time, this, when I say this has nothing to do with Salesforce. This, what I'm talking about, is being molested by my mother, being molested by my father, who came out of prison, and then he went back. When I started sharing a little bit, it was so scary. But when letters poured into my YouTube channel and into my blog comments from all over the earth, and the Bible tells me that I must go and share the gospel with all creation until the end of earth. When I saw that if I open up, and I mean like this, open up, with my heart bleeds, show people that I do not have it all together. But life is difficult and adventurous. It is so sad. It just really sucks to freaking be here sometimes. But it's also beautiful, because the Bible teaches me that I must comfort others with the same comfort I myself received from God. And when I began doing it, that comfort is not a stupid freaking pep talk. Girl, just hold your head up high. Just forget about it. You are so much better than this. This is BS. But to say to somebody, and I cannot tell you what women started telling. Oh my goodness, I could not even comprehend the kinds of experiences women have lived through. And my ministry is for Christian women. And annaszabo.com is a Christian website. I realized that not sharing myself is almost a crime, because I've gone through so much in my life. So few people actually have gone through those experiences and have awareness of them, were able to achieve sobriety and actually be having communication skills to communicate about it, because it's not easy to even learn to communicate about these things. These are very scary things, but also be willing to open yourself up. There are surely have been people who came and punched me in the gut. And the same is with Salesforce. Surely there are people, specifically 4 men since June last year, wrote me bullying letters. But there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people whose life I saved through my ministry. And there are countless letters of that. Today I was going to commit suicide. I already prepared this, this, and the other. And then I decided to make one final Google search, and I found your ministry, and I'm still here. I received countless letters like this. And when it comes to Salesforce, I see it the same way. Because when I passed my admin exam on June 30th, 2022, I just posted my little criterion screenshot. I didn't even know where to look for certification you receive or when I would receive it. It blew up. And here I was flooded with letters from Trailblazers. I have so much anxiety. I rescheduled my exam 11 times. It's been 2.5 years of a dream, and I just don't believe I can do it. I'm so hopeless. I just don't believe I can ever even schedule my exam. When I started putting into those people just exactly what I shared with you today, they started achieving their dreams. So yes, I'm really hurt when a man bullies me so cruelly, but I'm also delighted and built up and fueled by the testimonies of thousands of Trailblazers whom I helped. That is why I share. You are a Black man. There will be many people who would say things about that. I am an immigrant with an accent. Sometimes people say, oh, go learn English. I can't even understand what you're saying. There will be many ways in which people will diminish you. Don't pretend that it doesn't affect you, but see beyond it, because the way I see it, my encounter with death has been quite a lot. I view my life in terms of my death, and in my final breath, when there is no beyond that moment, I'm done. Would I want to be silenced by somebody's critique of me, by somebody's bullying of me? Hell no, absolutely not. When I die, maybe this is tomorrow. Maybe I'll go to Publix, buy some salt for 99 cents and I'll die. I will know that I've lived for the benefit of my community, that I poured wholeheartedly into thousands of people until the end of earth, the way God asks me. So all I do is I run my little race, and it doesn't matter that hateful things don't affect me. They do. But I keep my focus on the purpose of my life, which is to encourage and empower people. And you have so much to give. You have given me a lot.
This has been huge, David. I really want to thank you for coming on and for testifying, and for your questions. This is a large part of what you don't see very often in the ecosystem. The real aspects behind the stress of test taking, of trying to perform to a standard, to an expectation, whether that's your expectation or somebody else's. And so it's good every once in a while to break and to be real with each other and to ask the tough questions and to sit down and give tough answers. And I'm going to show thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm going to show you these, guys. These are Spark Clear aligners that I have to wear on my teeth. This is what I have to wear on my teeth for 22 hours a day. They're very tough. They're really harsh. These are my teeth, and they're crooked. And I would like them to be straight. Now, if I want my teeth to be straight, I have 8 months to go. To do that, I had to install sharp, painful attachments to my teeth and clip this on those. Initially, there were wounds in my mouth, on my cheeks, all the way through from this. I don't like wearing them. I don't wear them right now because they make me talk weird in a weird way. But having crooked teeth is not my dream. And I'm not going to rob myself of my dream. So what I do is I go to this is number 4. I go to number 39 to sneak peek. And number 39 are super, super straight. They're not crooked like this. They're straight. How do I get to number 39? Not tomorrow, my darling, not tomorrow, okay? For the next 8 months, I have to wear this 22 hours a day and be very uncomfortable. They cause headaches sometimes because they're pulling and pushing my teeth. And I do it because if you want something in life that is big, like this is a big commitment for me, you have to sacrifice. It does not come easily. And so you may be sharing yourself and experiencing pain, but if you think about overall your life and the impact you want to make on humanity, I don't care if anybody remembers my name. I care that somebody wanted to quit something today, whether it's Salesforce or their life, but they didn't. And they sucked it up just like these aligners because they see purpose beyond pain. And we're going back to that poem, Purpose from Pain. That is what it's all about for me. Salesforce is just an aspect of life. I'm passionate about Salesforce. You have to be passionate about Salesforce. I see Salesforce in terms of rev ups over all business. That's why I'm passionate about all clouds. But overall, like right now, I'm mentoring a woman in England. She's about to take her exam on Monday. And she said to me, I've been mentoring her for 5 weeks, early in the morning, because she's in England. I'm here in Georgia in the United States of America. She said, you've given me so much, but the biggest thing of all is that you gave me this understanding how much grit it takes and what to do when I feel overwhelmed. And that is to stretch, to rest. And this human component of recognizing and comforting each other is what my brand is about. It's just I can't say it like that because it's a bunch of blah, blah, blah to many people, you know? Yeah, if anybody has any questions, I would like to answer any additional questions that you guys have.
I just wanted to offer, I think everyone needs a vehicle, some I guess insertion point, some point in their experience where they're able to help others. And I think, Anna, you and I have both been able to do that through Salesforce and through the Ohana and through the ecosystem. So it's been awesome to hear about that. And I have to go right now. Okay. My wife is calling me for dinner, so I will. I don't know if when I leave, if it closes the channel. Hopefully you'll be able to stay if you want to ask Anna questions. If not, definitely visit her YouTube channel and reach out to her on LinkedIn. And if it does close the channel, I just want to thank you in advance for spending the extra time to be with us tonight and to share your authenticity and your experience.